What's up, fellas? Point guard Stephen Bardo here. What you're looking at right now is a receipt for an MRI that I received yesterday. There's the cost on the bottom. You probably can't see it, but this MRI that I got yesterday was 6,020 pesos. This is that's how much money I spent on an MRI yesterday. That's $354.97. Guys, I can't make this stuff up, right? The healthcare system here is so good that I want to walk you through a scenario I had with getting an MRI done on my right knee. If this is your first time, I'm point guard Stephen Bardo, former NBA professional basketball player, former 25-year national television commentator, college basketball, NBA commentator. And I run Next Chapter Forward. This is a community that we help over 50 Black men relocate outside the United States. If that interests you, like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we come with a long form video on Mondays, and then we come with a live like this on Wednesdays. We're checking the time. We're testing the times out, because I normally go at this time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we went 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last week, and we had a few more people on, and there was an impromptu kind of survey, and I think more people like it a little bit later than 1 o'clock on Wednesdays, but that's why we're testing. So this is week 2. Okay. So we're in week 2, and this is 1 o'clock today. Next week will be 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then the following week will be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll make a decision on what the best time is to go live on this. All right. So let me start again. Guys, this is a receipt that I got yesterday for an MRI and a X-ray. Okay, so let me take you through the scenario. I've been having trouble with my right knee for about 2 months. Me being a former athlete, a lot of times I'll give my body a chance to try to rectify it on its own. I did a 3-day fast, and that helped a little bit. But then the issues, when I ended the fast, the issues came right back. So I knew that there was something going on there. So, guys, here's how it goes in Mexico. And I can't make this stuff up, okay? So I leave here. I leave my house at about 3 p.m. I walk 2 blocks to a medical clinic. And there are medical clinics like this all over Mexico that you can walk in off the street. You don't need an appointment. You don't need to know the doctor. Just walk in. So I walk into this place, and I meet Dr. Guillermo. Dr. Guillermo is a Venezuelan national and speaks perfect English. So I'm trying to learn Spanish. I'm trying to get better. But when it comes to medical situations, it's very comforting to be able to speak with someone that speaks English, as opposed to you trying to figure out what they're trying to say in Spanish. So Dr. Guillermo was very nice, great bedside manner, asked a number of questions, was very patient, did a very nice, thorough exam of my vitals, obviously. Then he did an examination of both of my knees. And he too concluded that there was some swelling, that I needed to get an MRI. Okay, now, I came into the clinic at 3 p.m. I sat down there, filled out some stuff, went back and met with Dr. Guillermo. He did the examination, did all my vitals. He wrote a prescription for me to go get an MRI. Now, when he's writing this prescription out, fellas, here's what he's saying. Don't go to the larger hospitals, because they're going to charge you like you're a foreigner. They're going to charge you U.S. prices. So an MRI at these larger hospitals here in Playa del Carmen can go $3,000 or $4,000. Guys, mine was $6,000. I mean, 6,000 pesos. That's $394, $395. Okay, but it gets better. Hold on. So I leave the doctor's office with a prescription in hand. The doctor's office visit was $35. So for $35, I got in. They didn't know who I was from Adam. Walked in off the street, got my knees seen, and got a prescription. He gives me the WhatsApp contact information for the scheduler, right? So I'm hoping I can get in this week. So I hit the lady. She says, hello, how can I help you? And I said, well, I was with Dr. Guillermo. He wanted me to get an MRI schedule. She said, oh, sure. How about tomorrow morning at 10:40? I said, great. All I had to do, guys, was take a picture. This is not it. This is the receipt. But I took a picture of the prescription that the doctor gave me. I gave it to the scheduler. She makes the schedule for 10:40 the next morning. Okay? So now I take a taxi, $7 one way. I take a taxi over to this facility called Chopo. Guys, this is a brand new facility. It was brand spanking new. It was immaculate. The staff was wonderful. Most of them spoke perfect English. It was an unbelievable experience, guys. My appointment was 10:40. I spoke with the woman to get my appointment set up. I paid the money. I sat for 10 minutes. They came and got me. Immediately, they put me on the table to get the MRI. 25 minutes, that's knocked out. They took me from the MRI room. They walked me down the hall to the x-ray room. I got x-rays on both of my knees. I didn't ask. I didn't think I needed it, but what the heck? I did it anyway, right? Got the MRI, got the x-rays. I called for a taxi. The taxi comes, brings me back to my place here. I was back home before noon. So let me back up. On Monday at 3 p.m., I leave my house. I walk into a health clinic that I had never been in before. They didn't know me, the doc, nothing. I meet this doctor. He does a great job on the checkup. Gives me a thorough exam, gives me a prescription. That took 40 minutes total. I walk out of there. I come back home. I'm doing some other work, and I've got the scheduler. So I'm hitting the scheduler on WhatsApp. She says, oh, we can get you in 10:40 tomorrow morning. Bet. The next morning, guys, I'm at the clinic. I get everything done, and I'm back home by noon. That's an hour and 20 minutes of round trip from my place to the clinic, from the clinic back, an MRI, an x-ray, intake. The total situation was under 24 hours, guys. I got my images 2 hours later. So in 22 hours, I walked into an office, was seen by a doctor, given a prescription. The next morning, I go get the MRI, x-ray done, back at the crib 2 hours later, get the images. That was in 22 hours, ladies and gentlemen, for $450. I'm going to say that again. $450. And 22 hours later, I had a licensed physician examine my knee, get an MRI and x-ray, and he's got the images now. I'm waiting to hear back from him today. Guys, the average MRI cost in the United States out of pocket is at least $1,500 to $1,800. That's the lowest I saw. It ranges between $1,800 and $4,000. And if you guys know, getting an MRI, it might take weeks to get in. It could take a couple months. Okay. I want to share this with you guys because these are the type of healthcare experiences we as Black American men are experiencing here in Mexico. Do you guys realize that every day the Mexican border up near Arizona and Baja California, do you know there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of Americans that cross every day to get health services done in Mexico? A lot of them get orthodontist work, teeth repair, but people get surgeries. They get all kind of medical services, guys, and they're crossing the border to do it. They're staying in the United States, but they run to Mexico for all their medical needs. Why not just move to Mexico? Because the food is real and much more affordable. The housing stock is way more affordable. The people are much nicer and warmer. And your dollar stretches big time here in Mexico. Now, the dollar's losing value. It's just what it is. But you still get 17-1, I believe. Let me make sure I'm not giving you guys false information. Oh, it's dropping. It's now 16.96. When I first moved to Playa a year and a half ago, it was 19.5. It is now 16.9. So the dollar's crashing, guys. It's been going on, but you still get almost 17 Mexican pesos for $1 US. So the arbitrage is still real, guys. Okay. So I wanted to share some of my healthcare experiences with you guys because Monday I interviewed one of my buddies here, Haji. His mother moved to Playa del Carmen. She had never been outside the United States. Haji moved down here. He really liked it. He and his mother started talking. His mother relocated down here. Now I believe she's taking a trip to Thailand just to check it out. But she was 71 when she made the move from Texas down here to Playa del Carmen, and she loves it. So for all you people who are watching this and you have this brainwashed mentality around what other countries can offer via healthcare systems, ladies and gentlemen, racism is the most expensive thing on the planet because now that's coming back to rear its ugly head against the United States. The reason the healthcare system, the death care system in the United States is so poor is because one is profit driven and two it's based in racism. Okay. The policies, denial of treatment, all these things are predicated around racism, trying to keep Black people from having access to affordable health care. That's what it is. And so the longer that you continue to stay in the United States, and as we age, our health can deteriorate. We need more services in the health and wellness space. But let me ask you all who are tuned in, who are listening, if you're over 50 years old, do you really want to be in a place that is set up to take advantage of you and not to heal you? Do you think that you want to live your next chapter in a place where hospitals are closing, where access to quality health care is becoming more difficult? Did you guys envision that in your fantasies or your dreams or your thoughts about retirement or your next chapter? I don't know that a lot of people really consider that. They just make an assumption that they'll have access to good health care when they're getting older. And if you stay in the United States, unfortunately, that's not guaranteed. And you're going to pay more for it than anybody else in the world. You're going to pay more for shitty health care. Think about that for a second. You're paying, so you can get private health care insurance here in Mexico, and it's good. And it could run you between $130 and $175 a month. But that higher end portion, the doctor will come to your place if you cannot leave the house. If you're too sick, if you're too injured, they come and make house calls. The medical system here in Mexico is excellent. It's efficient. They utilize technology better than the United States healthcare system. There's not as much paperwork going back and forth, so there's not as much waste. And the way that these businesses and companies in general, but in particular the healthcare system, utilize WhatsApp. Ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, there's a lot of business conducted on WhatsApp. Okay? A lot of business conducted on WhatsApp. It's efficient, it's free, it's fast, and it's encrypted. So your messages are protected. So that's why I was able to schedule this appointment the very next day. I was able to get my MRI done the very next day because I didn't have to sit there and wait on a call from an overworked medical assistant who's got a caseload of 70 people that she's trying to work through or that he's trying to work through. No, they hire a scheduler, someone that will take these WhatsApp messages, ask for the information that they need to be able to schedule the proper appointment. This person does it, gets back to you, sends you your stuff via email. Via WhatsApp. So now you hit the attached file. There's all the records that the person at the clinics need to see. I simply handed my phone to her. She went through and got the information off of the appointment setting, and it was done. No phone calls. I was there 10 or 15 minutes early. So they got me back early and got me out of there early. Very, very efficient, guys. That's why a lot of people don't pay for health insurance here. A lot of 60, 70, even 70-year-olds that live here from Canada, especially, the Canadians are big on it. There's a lot of Canadians that do not pay for health insurance, older Canadians, because it's so affordable to pay out of pocket. And if you do have a pre-existing condition, then you can start to get on the private insurance plan. And I don't know the specifics. I don't know if they will cover you inside if you have a pre-existing condition and you start the process. I'm not quite sure. But guys, look. This was $395 plus the $35 doctor's appointment. The round trip taxi was $14. So let's just bump it up, $350, $360. Guys, this was done in 22 hours. And I got my images. I got my images emailed to me 2 hours after I got back. And so I'm waiting to see that the doctor, he's going to look at them and draw up a report and then present it to me. I don't have to go. I don't think. Now, I may have to go back to his doctor's office, but still, tack on another $35. I'm good with that because I'd be spending thousands in the United States. I spent under $500 to get a knee MRI and X-ray. Okay. And it was under 24 hours, the whole deal. Off the street. Did not know this clinic. Did not know Dr. Guillermo. I do now. Okay. These are the experiences, ladies and gentlemen, that you can have with your health and wellness in these different countries. Don't believe the hype. You've been bamboozled. Okay. People in these other countries, they set up their healthcare systems to provide healthcare for their citizens. They're not building systems to exclude a whole group of people. That's what the US is built on. Exclusivity and gatekeeping. Like the United States gatekeeps like it better than anybody in the world. They gatekeep. That's why everything's so expensive. Because the raw materials or whatever, the mechanism that creates the good or service that the US overcharges us for is nowhere near what they're charging us. And that's in healthcare, that's in retail, that's in education, that's in the workforce. I can go down the line. But guys, I struggle sharing some of this stuff with you because I'm not like a hater. I don't like to bash the United States. That's not something I like to do because I'm a positive person. I don't like to do that. John 3:16, they want you sick. You got that right. Bitcoin is my cash. Okay. You're breathing a little easier right now, huh? Looks like crypto may be on its way up. We'll see. What's up, Travel with Claire? How are you doing? Glad you stopped by. Thank you for saying hello. Hope you're doing well. PGZ Kid, what's up? I have TRICARE and VA MFP. What do you know about those in Playa del Carmen? Here's what I want you to do, PGZ Kid. Go to the video. Well, no, that's, you know what? He didn't talk in depth about it. I'm gonna have to ask around for you, partner, because thank you very much, PGZ Kid. Thank you. He's retired military, but he was kind of he didn't like to come on air and break down benefits and stuff like that because the VA, he says, is very funny about that. They watch veterans. He's 100% disabled. And so he didn't want, folks kind of poking around or whatnot. So I'm not sure, but let me find out some information and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much, though, PG Kid. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's up, Tim? Glad it's your first time. Welcome to Next Chapter Forward. I'm your point guard, Stephen Bartle. Glad to have you aboard, bro. And if you're new here, I help Black men over 50 relocate out of the United States. We have Black women in our group as well. And I have about 13 countries that I encourage my clients to seek out. Why do I pick these 13 countries? Because they have established communities of Black Americans present, either through Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups. There's already a support mechanism in these countries so that when I send a client there, I generally know someone that I can put them in touch with on the ground so that they can hit the ground running. Okay. Yeah, John, I've heard that. And so the healthcare system in Canada is, I think it's universal healthcare for its citizens, but there are long waits. I've heard that for things like MRIs and things of that nature. So it's not here, man. I'm telling you. What's up, Kevin Crawford? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, guys, real quick, for those that are just tuning in, I shared my experience of getting an MRI. I walked in off the street because you have to get a prescription to go to these laboratories. So I walked in off the street, a clinic I've never been in before. Walk in, Dr. Guillermo was fantastic. Venezuelan by birth, spoke perfect English, did a great exam, gave me a prescription, $35 for the visit. He gives me the name of a scheduler on WhatsApp. I send her I had to take a picture of the prescription. I told her what was going on. She works with Dr. Guillermo. She scheduled me for 10:30, 10:40 the next day. I got there a little bit early, did the intake. I paid my money, paid, what was it, $395 US dollars, 6,020 Mexican pesos. Waited 10 minutes, got called back, went right to the MRI room. Right when I was done, they got me off the table, walked me right into the x-ray room. As soon as I was done, they were like, bro, you're good. We will email you this in 2 hours. I got a taxi. I came back to my apartment. I left at 10:15. I got back to my apartment before noon. I was walking in right at noon. And then 2 hours later, I had the results. That's 22 hours of not knowing anything, of not knowing anybody. 22 hours and $450 later, I've got MRI and X-ray images that my doctor, Dr. Guillermo, is checking on right now. And so later on today, I will know the extent of what's going on with my right knee for $460 in 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Guillermo was so cool because I told him I played professional basketball in Venezuela. So he talked about where he was from and whatnot. He talked about him being he's a marathoner. So he loves Chicago because I think his best friend lives up there. He's running a marathon in Chicago before. He's going up to do the half marathon next month. He loves Chicago. We had a great conversation. I was telling him about my experiences in Venezuela and how I love the Venezuelan people, and that we both agreed the Venezuelan women are the prettiest in the world. It ain't no question, right? So I got a new doctor now, right? He knows my background playing professional basketball. He asked me a bunch of questions so that he could write up on my chart. Guys, this is stuff that we used to get back in the 70s when I was a kid. Like, he's asking you, what's your personal lifestyle like? He's not just going in and saying, okay, you got to write anything. No. Have you changed anything in your shoes? I said, yeah, I do wear orthotics. He's like, did you change them? I said, I got a new pair and I tried it, but I didn't like it. He said, so it changed your walking gait. I said, it might have, right? We don't get a patient doctor in the United States any longer. Now, if you've been to somebody for years on years and they've got, and you've got history, okay, that's different. I walked right off the street and me and this dude like hit it off immediately. Okay. These are the type of experiences, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that you can get. I got these glasses. These are prescription. I walked in to the optometry store, told them what I wanted. They gave me an examination to see where my eyes were, right? They had me try some frames on. Okay, you like this? Okay, all right. I was traveling back to the States. Once I came back, my glasses were done. It took 4 or 5 days to get them done. Prescription for $75. The whole thing, the checkup, the glasses, $75. I can walk into the dentist. I can walk. The one I was going to was right inside the same complex as the grocery store that I shopped at, which is right across the street from the bank that I go to. This was all in the same area. One of the better dentist offices in Playa del Carmen. You can walk in right now. Okay. The level of healthcare here, ladies and gentlemen, is something I want for you to put to rest in your mind. The quality of care is excellent. These people are patient. Almost all the doctors in Mexico are trained to speak English as well as Spanish. Almost all of them. Okay? So when you're looking at a place that you want to relocate to, more than likely in the countries that I work with, so Mexico, Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Brazil, Portugal, Ghana, South Africa, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia. We're going to add Kenya in there to the mix as well. Kenya and Tanzania. So those 13 countries. Belize, I don't know. Their healthcare system might not be as good, but Costa Rica, Colombia are one in Costa Rica, Colombia, and Panama, I believe, are 1, 2, and 3 in the Western Hemisphere in terms of healthcare systems. And Mexico is right behind, I believe, Colombia. I believe it's Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, and then Mexico in terms of the Western Hemisphere. And that includes Canada and the United States. That includes everybody in the Western Hemisphere. I believe that's how their healthcare systems are ranked. Okay. Portugal's got an excellent healthcare system. Ghana is okay. If you have to have something serious, that's probably not the place to be. South Africa, I heard their private insurance is really good, and they have top-notch, world-class hospitals there. And I think you already know about Thailand. It's one of the best healthcare systems in the world. Vietnam is very good. Philippines is very good because the Philippines has a lot of military veterans, U.S. military veterans. And so there are a lot of VA services set up in the Philippines. So guys, these healthcare systems, which is something that people over 50 who are looking to relocate out of the United States, this is very important for us. Something that we have to check off or that we need to really look into so that you feel comfortable in case you need care. Because we're all going to need healthcare at some point, whether it's something like, an injured right knee, like I have, or, you could have something internal going on. Whatever it is, in these 13 countries, for the most part, you can find quality healthcare. Okay. Okay. Now, I think I cut myself off. The video that I posted on Monday was an interview with Haji. He's a Navy veteran. His mother lives down here now. She relocated down here and she loves it because she's got access to quality health care. She's got access to groups of people who are her age that do something 7 days a week. There are 70, 80-year-olds down here, and there are groups of them. They have their own schedule, just like we do, the 50 and 60-year-olds. There's dancing, there's language exchanges, there's business, there are networking meetings that I've gone to that were pretty freaking interesting, right? I just found it interesting. So for Haji to feel comfortable enough to have his mother come down here, that ought to tell you something. That he could convince his mother, because he's got a large family and they're all back in Texas. And he said, one of his cousins said, like, man, what do you do for food in Mexico? Haji said, man, I live right next to a Walmart. What are you talking about? His cousin said, they got Walmarts in Mexico? His whole family is like, they think he's crazy for living outside the States. And he's been outside the United States since 2017. And he convinced his mom to come down here. I think she took one trip. She went back home, sold her stuff, and moved down here. So for a 71-year-old Black American woman, to make the decision to relocate to Playa del Carmen says a ton to me that she had the lifestyle situation answered. She wanted to be in a walkable community. Playa del Carmen is the most walkable community I've ever seen. It's so good. I walk everywhere. She wanted a walkable community. Check. She wanted quality health care. Check. She wanted to eat real food. Check. She wanted to have people in her age group, 70-year-olds, that are active, that have, they play bid whiz, spades one night, I know that they do yoga on the beach. They have walking clubs. They dance. They have language clubs. They got sisters that do hair. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, among Black Americans here in Playa del Carmen, we've got a nice number here, right? I don't know exactly. I know that between Cancun, Playa, and Tulum, there are over 5,000 Black Americans that live in this Yucatan region, okay? But in Playa, the Black women outnumber the Black men almost 3-1. There are probably, if there were 100 Black people here, 75 of them would be sisters. Okay, so there are a lot of Black women here. And for Haji's mother to make that decision at her age I may have to go back and interview her, because I want to get to the bottom of what she thinks, or what sold the deal for her. What was she looking for? What sold the deal? Who did she talk with that said, okay, and how much faith did she put in her son? How much faith did she put in her son, Haji? Right? But the fact that she moved down here, ladies and gentlemen, and now is going to check out Thailand. Think about that for a second. This is a woman that had not really traveled outside the United States. But she waits till after she turns 70 to relocate to Mexico, and now she's traveling. I think she left already. I think she's already in Thailand. She keeps hearing about it from all these Black people, how nice Thailand is. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to go check this out. I think she's 72 now. So, guys, if that's not the example that will give you answers to some of your questions, I don't know what will. She could be a poster child for this movement of helping Black men over 50 relocate out of the United States. She could be a poster child, right? Because I'll continue to interview the guys in our group. I've interviewed Haji, David, Michael Englehart. I want to get my man Kareem, but he don't want to come on camera. I got some stealth cats, bro, in our group. He didn't want to come on camera. But I'll continue to bring these guys on because I want you brothers to see examples of success. But I also think it's very important that when we do get someone like Haji's mom, that we really try to get answers from her, specific answers. And, maybe she would mind coming on for an interview. I'm going to look into that. But I just think she's a wonderful example. And it further backs up the information that I share with you all in terms of the cost of living, the trauma healing. Guys, do you know that there are a number of people who do yoga exercises at dawn on the beach? They know these are, I'd say the majority of people that do it are Mexican locals. And they understand what Black Americans are leaving behind and bringing with them. A ton of racial trauma. And, beating ourselves up for whatever reason. Code switching, all that. They understand that. And so there are a lot of things around health and wellness here that are designed to help Black people take a deep breath and relax. Let the central nervous system calm down. Move slower. Walk slower. Acknowledge nature. Eat clean food. Get out and dance a little bit. Things that we used to do, but maybe we've become too busy in the United States. Can't take time to go to dinner with our friends. can't take time to go and, if you got aging parents, wouldn't you love to take your mom to dinner, to lunch? Right? But you probably don't have the time. Or take your dad to lunch. Right? You can reclaim these things, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave the United States. The United States is a wonderful country. It's my home country. And it's provided a lot of opportunity for me to manifest what I want in my life. I don't think they're, in terms of accomplishment tied with financial results, there's very few places in the world that you can go that are better than the United States. But when you experience these things and you've lived in the United States as long as I did, and you have empath-like abilities like I do. I'm an energy reader. You guys, my free agents, we call free agents members of Next Chapter Forward. Free agents know that I'm an excellent energy reader. Okay. That's damaging in the United States because I can tell when people are on some ish. I can tell when I'm in the space with a racist or a bigot. I can feel it. And I've had far too many microaggression situations thrusted upon me that I didn't ask for. I'm minding my business. I'm living my life. But yet then I got to deal with these troglodyte, Neanderthal, rat soup eating, junkyard smelling mother, you know what I mean? I pick up on all that stuff. I picked up on people I worked with at these different television networks. I had to be on the air when there'd be racist producers trying to sabotage my work on air. I remember one time, it was early in my career, and I was on ESPN Regional, and we were covering Conference USA tournament in, where were we? We were in Starkville, Mississippi or something like that. Somewhere, it was it Starkville or was it, where is University of Southern Mississippi? Hattiesburg. We were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Never forget it. And the producer is talking while the game is going, and they'll talk to you. They'll say, "Okay, we're going to break," or this highlight's coming up, or do you want to do this, or did you catch this? That's normal conversation. But this guy's in my ear. His name is Chris. Chris kept getting in my ear. So then I go at halftime. I go, use the restroom, come out, and I walk into the truck. I'm like, dude, why are you talking to me so much? He was mad about something that shoot around, supposedly. But he was jealous. I don't know why he was jealous, but he was jealous because he probably saw that I wasn't going to be at that regional level much longer. He probably heard from someone else that, okay, we like this young man. But I wanted to kick his rear end because I could tell what he was doing. And then when I got in his face about it, it even came out more. He was an itch. He was a little itch. He was a big time gangster behind the mic. But when you got face to face, he was a little itch, right? I can't tell y'all how many times I've had that situation or been called the N-word growing up every other day in Carbondale. Like a lot. Okay? Pulled over by police at gunpoint on some BS. I mean, removed off a flight. BS. Right? I've had all these experiences, guys. And I've been down here. This is my 19th month down here in Playa del Carmen. And I'm starting to become healed. But I've been in paradise for 18 months, going on 19 months, guys. And I am just now starting to heal. The anger is still here. If I feel like somebody slided me in a racist way down here, oh, it's right back. It's right there. I'm on. So that's something I'm working on. But at least I'm in a position, I'm in a place that didn't make me like that. Because I couldn't go back. If I went back to the United States, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I would do? I'd go get an RV and I'd be on the road living off of the federal lands, and I travel I travel North America in my RV, because regular life in the cities and all that, I know too much. I've experienced too much. I don't think that I could. The only way that I could go back to the United States long term is get an RV and live like that, or go get a patch of land and be, out in the middle of nowhere. Because the negativity, the negative energy that is present in the United States is, for people like me, can be overwhelming at times. We got guys that are in our group. Last Thursday, Leon said last time he went home, he had a panic attack. He had a literal panic attack. So, guys, you don't have to do that, right? I'm not trying to be judgmental, but after a while, when you get enough information and you still decide to stay put, you're choosing that. When you get the information to where your mind says, you know what, I think I might be able to do that, but yet you still stay, then you're choosing to stay. Okay? That's not anything the United States is doing to you. It's just that you're not making the move, even though you've got the information, even though you know that you could live a better life, even though you know you're exhausted right now. You're exhausted from people pulling at you. You're exhausted from work. You're exhausted from family. You may have extended family that you're taking care of or looking out for. You may have some friends going through some tough times and you're lending a hand. You're exhausted. Unless you change your life drastically, that's not going to change. That feeling of exhaustion, that feeling of exasperation, that feeling of knowing that something else out there is better than what you're experiencing, but the pain of you having, until the pain of you staying where you are is greater than the pain that you think exists in moving, then you won't move. But you've got to get to a place, ladies and gentlemen, that I can't take it anymore. I don't want to do this any longer. That, like my grandmother said, you're going to have to ish or get off the pot. SHT or get off the pot. That's the mentality that you're going to have. Okay? You don't have to. Guys, there was no one available like me when I made this move a year and a half ago. Maybe there was. I didn't see him. So I made thousands of dollars of mistakes, and I did not come down here. Now that I'm helping people relocate, I saw the number of mistakes that I made, and I'm simply trying to help you avoid those mistakes. Okay. All right. Yes, she is a passport granny. She's doing her thing too, man. I'm so happy for her. So, guys, the choice is yours. I gave you the story on an MRI. 22 hours, guys, from not knowing anything or anything about the experience. 22 hours later, I've got my results. And I spent $460. Round trip taxi, doctor's office, and the cost of the MRI and X-ray. All together. 22 hours later, and I got the results. Now I don't know how to read those things. My doctor's checking them out right now. He'll get back to me. This is the quality of care that you can have. You don't have to waste a day in a freaking doctor's office. You don't have to sit there and call, miss calls back and forth. The inefficiency of the U.S. death care system is making itself apparent. Every time that I have some sort of procedure or appointment or something, I'm blown away. And here's what happens, guys. I'm blown away. Then I get angry because I see how much I've been getting robbed the whole time. Guys, do you know that my insurance premiums were almost twice what I paid yesterday for that MRI and X-ray? I paid $800 something a month for health insurance in the United States, being self-employed. $820 something for an insurance premium. I didn't get any health care from it. It's just a premium. Okay. So you go from paying $800 a month in a basic healthcare system, because that's what I'm gonna call the United States. Very basic, not good, basic. I paid $800 a month, and I paid $450 one time for this procedure. Choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen. Can't make it any more plain than that. If you like what I'm putting down and you haven't done so already, I've got a link in my bio. It's called the Global Scouting Report. It's a free 8-question questionnaire. It's like a quiz, very quick. Only takes 2 minutes to complete. But the important thing, what it does is it gives you a score of your readiness to relocate. So I always encourage people that work with me that that's your first step. You want to be clear about where you are in the process in terms of your readiness to relocate. So there's 4 categories that you score in. You're either a dreamer, a planner, a packer, or you're ready to relocate. Based on how you answer those 8 questions, will give you a score. So what that does, it gives you a score. It gives me your score. It shows me where I need to group you because you're going to be on the email list. And so dreamers get different emails than planners, then get different emails than the packers, then get different emails from Ready to Relocate group. Okay. And so you all, it puts you in 4 different stages of your ability to relocate. And that's what helps me decide what information that you need to help you further bring you along on this journey. If that interests you, go get your Global Scouting Report now. Okay. All right. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. John 3:16, Travel with Claire 3, P. Jeezy Kid. Thank you, P. Jeezy. Really appreciate you. Tim Special 2, Kevin Crawford Photo. Always a pleasure, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, you know how we do, y'all. Until next